The 3 best compliments I ever received. The 3 best compliments I ever received. 1. I was 13. Me and my big brother were brushing our teeth. And as usual, he tried to spit on my arm just as the faucet was in my reach. And I looked in the mirror and I said, "Stop it!" And for a moment, he paused. And as he looked at me, he said, "Your eyes are brown. They're nice." And though he had said this thing like it was non-revelatory, like it was a matter that he had just gleaned his mind and found its way to his freshly cleaned teeth, I needed to hear it because I was 13. I was in the thick of my thickness, my nose and its roundness. I was hating my hair and its flatness and the bi-monthly perm that had strangled it. And that morning, my brother gave me something to ponder. And because my big brother said it, I knew it was true. Because, unfortunately, he never lied to me. Yes, I remember when he told me I had bad taste in movies and that I was bad at playing Donkey Kong and he'd only let me be Diddy. And yet again, my brother took me to another level. Because when the Diddies and the Puff Daddies of the world tried to holler singing, "I need a girl to ride, ride, ride." What? Y'all know this song? Okay. I could say, boy, bye. Because of that moment, I will never be smitten by the guys who compliment the brownness of my eyes. Yes, I know. I will never feel the need to smile endlessly for telling me a truth I had already received for free. That's right. Because that day, over bubbling Colgate and tingling Listerine, my brother taught me that God had crafted me fearfully and wonderfully. Yes. And there is no demon in hell that can take that from me. And over a decade later, through bathroom windows, I can still feel God sending the morning rays of glory to hit my eyes with the brown can sing of the day that they first met God. Yes. Which brings me to compliment number 2. I had just been scrolling down my news feed when my literary world had just been torn from me the day that Dr. Maya Angelou had died. And my heart was heavy. No, I had never met her in person, but I met her in spirit. Dancing across the pages of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and she sang phenomenally. Dr. Angelou taught me the anatomy of being a queen. That's in the reach of my arms, in the span of my hips, the stride of my step, and the curl of my lips. It's in the fire of my eyes, the swing in my waist, the joy in my feet. Yes, it's in the arch in my back, the sun of my smile, the grace of my style. Maya taught me to be a queen. I just needed to be. No need to think, but now here comes the blessing. This poetess, dancer, actress, and world-renowned activist for peace and social justice had just crossed my mother's mind that morning. And as I envisioned that encounter to be 2 bright flashes of light in the form of women's bodies, reaching across space and time with wrinkled hands to heal wounds and yet gracefully demolishing all the invisible forces that try to tell them to be less than themselves. Yes, I imagined the floor breaking into fragments and becoming like sand by the Nile River banks, and their hair wrapped in bright cloth, patterned in prints they made for each other that past Sunday, and as their hands touched, they say in their own Southern and Haitian Creole slang, "Good morning, Queen." I know. They had met that morning because my mom casually came up to me asking, "Did you hear about Maya Angelou?" And I responded with a yes so heavy. And she responded, "You remind me of her. Your creativity, you're just like her." And my eyes couldn't take the heat of the comparison. For my mommy greatness to compare me to greatness, I teared up, and as she walked away, she acted like she didn't just shake my world with her words. This queen mother imparted upon me words that connected me to other royalty. No one can tell me I'm not in a lineage of queens. Which brings me to compliment number 3. This compliment was more like a heavenly decree, issued under the jurisdiction of the highest majesty, carved in the everlasting arms of the Rock of Ages. When he wrote your and my life stories before time began, there was no setting, no place, no time, no season but God. No language for man to comprehend, but it was translated for a mere mortal to understand. It would be read, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever. Who has ever used the word whosoever without real conditions? Just read the American Constitution. Now, here comes God. Shall not perish, but have life everlasting is in this compliment that crushes all earthly principalities that shall ever try to come from me and mine. Whatever the name of my future husband will be, he will know intimately the power of the word, that God that he serves, that God so loved the world that he gave when he did not have to give. Life was enough, but God was so loved that enough wasn't enough. That he flooded the world the second time, #no ark, to save us with the blood of the Lamb. I'm sinking and yet I'm finally breathing. This ultimate compliment defines me, like check it mathematically, like me equals John 3 verse 16. And there are no variables to solve for. It's all there in the space where the nails pierced the Son of God's hands, an indictment he didn't deserve for crimes he didn't commit. And the most crazy thing is that while he was on trial for my guilt, is that he became my lawyer and said, consider it handled. The truest gladiator the world will ever know. I'll follow him over a cliff because he did all of this, and there is not a thing I can do, not a sin I can find to fall out of his love. For God so loved the world, our bars I'd gladly be imprisoned behind. Yes, the only bars which the world should never stop snapping for. Amen.